Hey, a quick story on the genesis of this Downtown East Side program. Back around 2001, I decided that I was going to do what I could to try and help out the Downtown East Side of Vancouver. I had seen that the most happy people in the world, based on my research, tend to help the most people. So I took that information and said, all right, well, if this is true, what can I do to help? And I discovered the Downtown East Side of Vancouver. I first heard about the Downtown East Side of Vancouver through a song. A band called the Colorifics was playing in Whistler, where I lived, and I moved from Ontario, skipped Vancouver entirely, and went straight up to Whistler. And this band was playing a song called Hastings in Maine, and I asked the lead singer, what's that song all about, Hastings in Maine? And she said, you don't know Hastings in Maine? You should go check it out. And next time I was in Vancouver, we did do a drive through of the Downtown East Side, which has been called Canada's poorest postal code. And I was really impacted by what I saw there. There was a lot of visible suffering, and there still is today. It's a pretty amazing place to drive through. And eventually I walked down to the Downtown East Side, and on my way there I had an incredible feeling that I was going to see somebody that I knew. And sure enough, I did. Right at the corner of Hastings and Maine, I saw a guy that I went to high school with, a really good guy, and he was a social worker. So that's kind of when I put two and two together and realized that I might be able to lend a hand down on the Downtown East Side. So I just started going down there a bit more, and at one point I decided I was going to start a company, and my idea was sell t-shirts and use the money I made selling those t-shirts to help out the Downtown East Side. So I had a bunch of t-shirts printed and started selling them, and then just realized I didn't even know what I was going to do with this money. Even if I did make money, why don't I just start going down to the Downtown East Side every single day and seeing what I can do to help out? So I met my first day down there. I took a guy for lunch. His name was Thomas. He told me about an organization called VANDU, the Vancouver Area Network of Drug Users. And I went into that building. They were having a meeting. And in the middle of the meeting, the facilitator came up to me and said, hey, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, I just started this company selling these t-shirts, going to try and help the Downtown East Side. And she said, okay, cool. And she went back up to the front of the room and she said, all right, we're going to have a smoke break. And when we come back, we've got a guest speaker. So I saw that the world is changed by those who show up. There's a bumper sticker that says that, and I saw that to be true. And I continued to do a bit of work through VANDU, spoke at a couple more meetings, got to meet a few people, and then I ran out of money. This was in 2006, I believe, and I got a job working on cruise ships and went away, worked on cruise ships, and thought about the Downtown East Side the whole time I was there. And finally got married, met my wife on ships, got married, moved back to Vancouver, and started coming down again. And went into VANDU and met with Ann Livingston, who was one of the co-founders of VANDU, and had a talk with her and just told her about the vision that I had and the, how can I help is what I was basically asking her. And throughout the course of that conversation, there was a binder behind her that said Ibogaine on it. And we chatted for about 3 hours. And just in the last 10 minutes of that conversation, I said, what about Ibogaine? I had heard of it before. I know it's a plant medicine that is supposed to help with addiction. And she said, actually, I get a lot of phone calls about that. Maybe you could look into Ibogaine. So that led me to helping a few people through the Ibogaine experience. And I saw its effectiveness and saw that given in the correct setting, it is an incredibly powerful addiction interrupter. And that grew into a program through VANDU in the Downtown East Side where we were meeting with people who were interested in getting off drugs, and that led to us giving Ibogaine to Aaron, who you are going to meet in an upcoming video. And it went really well, and I'm excited to share it with you. Take care.